The many faces of the mimic. Most people hear the word mimic and immediately think of a monster disguised as a treasure chest, or perhaps a singular creature type. But this is a dangerous misunderstanding. The truth is that mimic is not one entity at all. It is a category, a family of methods and predators that share one thing in common. They pretend to be something they are not, to draw you closer. The deception of voices. One of the oldest forms of mimicry in the supernatural world is the stealing of the human voice. Many creatures prey upon our instinct to protect one another, to respond when we hear a child crying, a friend calling for help, or a loved one in distress. Wendigo are infamous for this, luring travelers into the wilderness with the desperate cries of the lost, only to feast upon them. Ottoman spirits in certain traditions are also said to borrow the voices of the dead, weaving false familiarity to ensnare their targets. These are predators who know one simple truth. Compassion makes us vulnerable, the feeding grounds of fear. Other entities are not merely hunters of flesh, but of emotion. Spirits, such as phobophages, feeders on fear, thrive by unsettling us. They will mimic human voices, shadows at the window, or the sound of footsteps behind you. Not to kill immediately, but to let your own terror marinate until they can gorge themselves on the energy. Then there are darker forces, imps, parasitic spirits, and malevolent entities who mimic not just to frighten, but to trick. They borrow voices to gain trust, to coax you into lowering your defenses, to invite them in. Once you do, possession or binding can follow. The flesh that wears another face. But mimicry is not limited to spirits. There are creatures of flesh and blood that wear lies like a mask. Skin dancers, a rare and secretive race of forest dwellers, can take on human form. Not only do they with the face of another, but they can implant false memories, making their victims believe that this stranger has always been a lifelong companion. Yet their disguise has limits. Their clothing is nothing more than their own skin, which cannot be removed without betraying their nature. The Glimmerman employs a simpler deception, borrowing familiar voices to lure prey into the dark. Hunters have described being called by name, only to find no one there, until it was too late. The mimic is not one monster. It is a strategy, a way of hunting, a web of deception employed by countless entities, both physical and spiritual. Humanity has had to survive their tricks since the dawn of our existence, learning to question the voice in the night, the cry in the forest, the face that seems too familiar. And yet, even today, they still prey upon us. To know the mimic is to know the art of deception itself, and to remember that in the supernatural world, not everything that looks or sounds human truly is.